Hello. Okay, so today is going to be all about card decks. I am going to be filming my next video that I'm going to be filming for my teaching library, which is a membership of pre-recorded content and a little kind of forum group on Mighty Networks. Is going to be all about how to use tarot and oracle cards for aligned action. So that's going to be the video coming up. But first, I got the yes to do a video for everyone, not just in the group, recommending some decks that I like to work with for taking aligned action. So when I pull my cards, I'm not exactly sure how you pull yours, but when I pull mine, each card has typically a message and sometimes an action step and sometimes some sort of clearing or activation that wants to happen. So I use the cards that come up really as my spiritual assignment for that day, along with all the other human stuff that just naturally comes up. But it's like my structured kind of spiritual work. I use my cards to figure out what I'm meant to do that day, what I'm meant to work on clearing or activating, or just what aligned action steps have to be taken. So I use a mixture when I do that of oracle and tarot cards, but interesting enough, I let my higher self or my authentic self, whatever you want to call it, choose the cards decks today, and not one tarot deck got chosen, which is really interesting. So 4 oracle decks did get chosen, so those are going to be the ones I show you today. It's interesting also because 3 of these I use daily right now, and one of them I haven't used in a while, but I do really like. So I'm just going to show you what they are. Maybe we'll pull one card from each so you can kind of see. So this deck, this is actually one of the decks that I did get gifted. I don't typically get gifted a lot of decks. I think I've gotten gifted 2. So you don't need, that's like a weird little thing that sometimes I hear, like people need to gift your decks, that you don't need to. Unless that feels really true for you, go for it. But this deck I really, really like. It is an oracle deck. However, it has a lot of the archetypes of tarot cards. So it's kind of like, I know some people don't like the idea of working with tarot cards, which whatever, you do you. This deck is an oracle deck, but has a lot of those things in it. So what I mean by that is there's just a lot of, it's not all like love and light or fluff. It's not fluffy at all. It has let me just show you. So here's like one. So cards like this, which walking away from something, right? Broken heart. These do are read both. There are meanings for upright and for them reversed, which is also similar to tarot. So like this one, when it's upright, it means that we're having like money issues. But if it's reversed, that means like money is going to be coming to you. So you can read them both ways. There's a lot of angel cards in this deck that correspond to the different chakras. We've got victory, which you can imagine, right? Depending which way. And you can choose. You don't have to read reversals. It's totally up to you. But they're like relatively straightforward, like this, right? Obviously, rest and rejuvenate. They're relatively straightforward, but there's just such a wide range of things in here. So if you are someone that's like not totally into tarot, see, like creepy guy, but important, right? To know kind of what's going on around you. I feel like I'm showing you all like the quote unquote bad ones. But it's just so you can see that it's got more angel. It has such a wide range of stuff, which can be really helpful when you're trying to read your own cards, so you can kind of figure out those blind spots. So I really like this deck. I just feel like it can just tell me so much about what's actually going on. The back is really pretty too. Okay, let's pull one card from this. Let's just see. Let's just for funsies. Let's see what card, what are we meant to know right now? What are we most meant to know? Maybe I'll even read you from the guidebook so you can kind of see how the guidebook is. What are you most meant to know? Sorry, just looking at the guidebook. Okay, interesting. Okay, so we got all tied up. Super interesting. So I would first want to know, okay, is this meant to be upright? Yes. So guidebook. Okay. They want me to just read you the guidebook and not tell you what I think it means. So that's also another thing. When I'm reading cards, I'm typically read them without the guidebook, but I will ask because sometimes the guidebook really does have like good stuff for us to know. Okay, all tied up. Lack of motion or sense of personal freedom. This card shows a woman tied up with vines around her wrists, body, and arms. Receiving this card upright represents a situation in your life where things seem to be severely stuck. A major drama may be going on around you, stopping you from moving forward, or it may be that some technicalities are blocking your way. Perhaps you're waiting for a contract to be signed or an agreement to be made. Whatever is holding things up, the restrictions may be feeling quite oppressive at this time. If this isn't technically the case for you, what's tying you up is your own personal stuff. Look at your life and see how you can be your own jailer. Are you tying yourself up in some emotional angst or in a negative habit that you refuse to deal with? If so, it's time to cut the vines and make some serious changes now. You needn't live in your self-imposed jail any longer. Okay, so some of us have some things to think about. So if this isn't the video for it, but if I were teaching this right now, we would go into kind of what we can look at, if there's any blockages we can clear energetically, and then any further things we need to know, and then any specific action steps that need to be taken to move out of this energy. We want to shift out of this. There's something we need to do. This is definitely one that would have probably a clearing and an action step attached to it. Okay, so that was cool. So yeah, there is a guidebook. It's actually a pretty thick guidebook. And I do look at this one, not so much anymore, but a lot of times if I'm reading for other people, they do want me to read that guidebook. Okay, this is the one that I am not using right now, but I really enjoyed using this one. When I did use it, I do check in, like, am I meant to use this one? Because it is so pretty. I get the yes a lot, like for these, if I'm doing like a Facebook post that's like pick a card for people. This guidebook is actually really small because the actual cards have a lot of words on them. So the back is super pretty, as you can see. And then each one has the words. It has the chakra associated to it, a crystal, and an herb, which is usually pretty interesting. They're also like, the colors are really cool. They go according to by chakra. So it's neat if you get like the yes to pull a few of these, and you pull say 3 or 4, and they're all similar colors. You can really tell on kind of what you're meant to be working on. I don't know if you can see it, but the edges are pretty too. It's like a shiny silver. Okay, let's just pull one so you can actually see what it's like. Okay, what are we most meant to know from this deck today? This deck too, I had to buy it. I think I actually bought it on Etsy. I remember it was like sold out on Amazon and wherever else I was looking. So I don't know if that's still the case. I got it quite a bit of time ago. But I did have to kind of search to get this one. This was one where I like fell in love with someone else using it. Okay, what are we most meant to know right now? Let's see. Okay, just one. So let me show you it first. So, wholeness. You have within you the power to heal all that is in need of your love, including yourself. Open up to the vastness of your heart and allow its purifying presence to wash over you in waves of self-acceptance and graceful allowing. From this space of whole soul fulfillment and nourishment, you will be able to give and receive abundantly. You are the forests and the oceans, the earth and the sky. Honoring your wholeness is your path to wellness. And this chakra is your heart. It definitely sounds like heart. And I'm getting a yes to read from the guidebook. So let's look. It's nice too. These are numbered, so it's really easy to find them in the guidebook. The other deck is also like that. Okay. Keywords: total, complete, perfect. You are in this moment perfect, whole, and complete. You are a perfect ideal held in the mind of the divine feminine, the divine masculine. Right now, you lack nothing. You are brilliant and desirable, resplendent and full in your radiant beauty. When you live, move, and exist from a space of perfection, wholeness, and completion, you allow the truth of who you are to express itself in greater and more abundant ways that reflect your true and limitless nature. When you love from this truth of wholeness. When you create from this truth of wholeness. And when you receive from the truth of wholeness, knowing that you can only give and therefore receive more of who you already are. The heart chakra is a perfectly spinning, ever-expanding field of magnetism that attracts more or less of what is intentioned. You receive in life and love only that which you give out in energy and emotion. Once you learn this truth, you can choose to focus on that which brings you more of what you desire. Focus on love, not the absence of it. Focus on your joy, not your sorrow. Focus on your abundance and not your lack of resources. When you do, you will realize in perfect time that what you desire has been within your grasp all along. Ask yourself. So there's some questions always at the end. Do you believe that you are perfect, whole, and complete just as you are today? I'm just laughing because that's what we would be digging into if we were teaching about this right now. Most likely there is a lot of clearing that would go around that. There are probably a lot of beliefs to be cleared around not being perfect, whole, and complete. That is why I laughed. Wasn't laughing at the question. What feelings surface when you affirm the following? I am perfect, whole, and complete. So you would want to kind of get a little introspective on that when you hear that. I am perfect, whole, and complete. What comes up after that? It says, what do these feelings tell you about the stories and beliefs that need to be rewritten, recoded, and or replaced with a script that feels more loving and true to the fullness of who you are? Yeah, so this card would most likely show us where we're holding limiting beliefs that need to be cleared away. Maybe action steps that you would get for this card could be journaling what you do believe and journaling what you want to believe, kind of like rewriting and recoding your thoughts. We would probably also do some clearing with the pendulum. So that is that deck, really pretty. And also, like, you don't have to guess what it's about. I think that's why a lot of people like this, because there are words. So it can be really fun playing with cards that are more pictures, but sometimes it can be just really helpful, especially when you're starting out and looking at cards this way, to figure out, okay, what am I meant to do with this? Because just getting a card and a message, it's like, okay, cool. But if you don't do anything with it, if there's not some sort of change you make or clearing you do, what's the point? Why am maybe it's fun to just pull cards and then not do anything about them. This deck is one of my favorites. I actually just bought this and I've been using it. I think I've only got through like 5 cards. I've probably used it for 2 weeks now. I also don't put the cards away until they say they're complete. That's another thing I'll be teaching about. Some cards are going to want to stay up for a long time, and I know some of you do that too. So this deck I fell in love with. One of my friends used to pull this like each week on Facebook. She'd pull a card. It does come with a guidebook. I like these because they're like simple but powerful. So the back is just pretty. And then I'm actually going to show you some of these because I think the artwork is just so fun. So these are like self-care cards, but I just feel like they're a little, I don't know, I feel like they're a little more powerful than like a typical self-care card. So what I like to do with these, this is my other cards I usually go through each day. I'm able to finish them. It's rare that I keep my other cards up for a long time. But this deck, it could be up for 2, 3, 5 days until I finish it. So I won't take this card down until I actually do like the self-care thing that it's nudging me to do. So you can kind of see that I love the pictures are so pretty. I will be honest, I have not used the guidebook for this. I don't feel like it's super helpful. Maybe for some people it would be, but I think just the picture enough is this is actually the one I did today. Candle magic. Okay. Just want to see if there's a few I do want to show you. I just think, aren't they just so pretty? They're so pretty. And they're all, I mean, it's the self-care on it is nothing crazy. Like it's pretty basic. There are some really fun ones, like cleaning your space. It's like, it might not seem like self-care, but sometimes that's like just like the best thing you can do to create more space for you. I thought this was cute too. Look for fairies. Connect with your womb. Connect with your ancestors. There's so many good ones. I'm not going to go through all of them because it's going to take forever. I mean, there's even like health checkup is even on here. So even maybe something that, you know, we're kind of like we're a little blind to maybe. Okay, let's pull one. What do we need to know? What self-care? I want to know. I do want to know, like in the comments, I want to know when you complete your self-care task. I'm going to ask to hold you accountable for whatever comes up. So what sacred self-care are we meant to do? What sacred self-care activity? That sounds better. What sacred self-care activity are we meant to do? What is our soul craving? What are we meant to do? And then after this, I just have one more deck. Okay, let's see what we get. Okay, I'm getting that's not the right card. And that's not the right card. Okay, we're gonna shuffle again. That's something else I'll be teaching about is sometimes the top and bottom card just isn't the actual card we're meant to get. I don't know why. Sometimes it happens. Is this the card? No. They're making us work for this one. Okay. Take a deep breath, everyone. As you're watching, take a deep breath. Maybe close your eyes. I feel like our energy may be a little scattered. This is just a nice time. Come back into your center. Come back into your center. What are we being called to do for ourselves? I knew this card was going to come up. That's funny. Okay. Of course, my mom's probably watching this. Pleasure. It is a really pretty card, though. Okay. Well, let's see what the guidebook has to say, because that's what they keep wanting me to read it for you. Why not? Okay. Pleasure. I am worthy of pleasure. Our bodies are magnificent temples of joy, bliss, and ecstasy awaiting exploration. Most of us have an upbringing filled with limiting perspectives about how we can experience pleasure and what kind is appropriate. As we begin to break free from constrictive perspectives, we can re-explore our bodies and all our senses to find new and more profound experiences of pleasure. This exploration is a very personal process, with the main requirement being an open mind. Begin by closing your eyes and tuning into your body. Ask yourself where you want to be touched and how you want to be touched. You can also ask your senses what they are craving. What does your nose want to smell? What does your skin want to feel? What do your eyes want to see? What does your mouth want to taste? What do your ears want to hear? Pleasure has unlimited forms, and you can call in whatever one you desire. And each one has a journal prompt. What kind of pleasure do you want to call into your life? Okay, so you don't have to tell me what you do in the comments. But I would love, I don't know, can you make hearts on YouTube comments? If you can make hearts, put a heart down there. If you can't, maybe just write the word heart. I would love, or just I did it, I don't know. I would love to hear that you completed your self-care task activity. It's funny because like for me, when I was reading that, I feel like I just want to like make coffee. I don't drink coffee every day, but I feel like I want to like drink coffee and listen to music. That's kind of what came out for me. So yeah, I want to know what did you do? And come back and tell me. That's the thing with the cards. It's like we need to kind of hold ourselves a little bit accountable with them, because it's so easy to just look at them and then be like, whoop, okay, all done. Especially some of the more intense cards. If you've watched any of my other card videos, this one is always on it. Of course, I got a big yes for this one today. This is one of the first card decks I ever bought when I went to like my first little like spiritual retreat. And they have spoken to me ever since. I do at least one of these a day, typically only one at a time. In the guidebook, it even recommends to do this for like a week at a time. I think when I started, it did take me like a few days or a week probably to move through the energy of each card. Now it's a lot quicker, but these cards are kind of intense. They ask a little more of you than maybe other cards. These aren't even called, I don't think they even say Oracle on it. Yeah, activation cards for the soul, cosmic reading cards. So these are like it says, the cosmic reading cards activate your soul to the memory of its true creative potential. As you move through the chapters of your life, trust that Spirit will guide you to the compassionate, loving light within you. These are so good. That's the back on all of them. And then let me just show you some. So got transformation. They're not all intense, like gratitude, believe, celestial teacher, new chapter. These are like, I haven't worked with this deck for so long now. Sacred journey. There's just so many. This is the card that first attracted me to the deck. I was working through being afraid of the dark, and this is the one that came up. I'm like, okay, that deck is for me. Walk your truth. Never fun when this one pops up, but always super moving you forward on your journey. This one's neat too. Cosmic connection. This is always a really fun one when you move through something and then you get the celebration card. Time out, always a good reminder. Surrender when we really need to surrender, usually to emotions. Okay, so I'll be talking about this in the module 2, but these cards, I have worked with them for so long now too that a lot of them have different meanings for me now than what's actually in the book. I'm going to read the book meaning for whatever we get for you, but that's something else that you'll notice, and a lot of you watching probably already noticed this, is certain cards will take on certain meanings for you, so you know you're meant to do something. So like when there's a certain card in here, when I get, it's like compassion or something, I think. And it took me a while because I'm like, I never felt right. Oh my God, I'm not going to be able to find it. It's probably the last card in here. Yeah, it is compassion. This card took me a while to figure out what it meant for me. I'm supposed to like meditate with a certain energy when I get this card. So that kind of will happen too. The more you use your decks, you'll start kind of using the guidebook a little bit and kind of figuring out from there, but a lot of times they'll take on their own meaning specific for you. Okay, what are we meant to know? Okay, deep breaths. Take a nice deep breath. Let's get ready, get centered. I would ground us all right now, but I got the don't bring your pendulum down, because it's going to make the video too long if I start doing all the clearings and everything in this video. This is just for cards. Okay. Let's see what we got. My first card. Oh, okay. Be fearless. I love this card because it's not really about being fearless. Okay, let's see. Number 3. Also super nice in this book because it's all numbered and it has the picture and the words. Though there are a lot of words, so this is going to take me a minute to read. There are a lot of words, however, they are always really powerful. And I do think just reading them, like they are activation cards. So you do receive something just by reading them. Okay, be fearless. Do you really want to look back on your life and see how wonderful it could have been had you not been afraid to live it? Has fear been holding you back from pursuing your dreams and following your heart? Do you hold a fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of change, fear of making a mistake, fear of what society may think, and fear of life and death? The fear of failing can be immobilizing, and many wonderful opportunities are missed because of it. It serves only as a wall stopping you from living a joyous life. When you hide behind that wall of fear, you not only slow down the process of transformation and growth, but you also attract what you most fear. For example, if you have a fear of not being worthy, you'll find yourself in situations and circumstances that validate those fears. Building those walls of fear does not protect you from the unknown. It keeps you imprisoned within a cycle of challenges. These challenges may come in different disguises, but ultimately they hold the same energy. To transcend this repetitious wheel is to shine light on and face those inner fears. This is not a battle, but an act of pure love and compassion. Go within yourself and find out from where these fears stem. Fears are usually born from something you've seen, heard, or experienced personally. Send the shade within you love, understanding, and compassion. You are stronger than you realize. Take that next step and live your life fearlessly. And the prayer at the end is, Great Spirit, give me the strength to embrace the fears within me with love, compassion, and light. Okay. So after getting that, what we'll be talking about in the teaching videos, if you're in the teaching library membership, is we would look, okay, is there something for me to clear around here? Most likely there's stuff to clear. So we would be using our pendulum. We'd be clearing things out that we're meant to clear. There could be something we need to activate, maybe activating a new aligned life path once we can kind of clear that old path. Maybe the action step, this one could also be journaling. It could be, the action step could be a meditation. The action step could be literally taking the step towards what you're scared of. If you've been scared of, I don't know, say starting your own business, maybe there's a first step you can do. Or if you've been afraid to go and take the course that you want to take, maybe there's a step you could do, pay for the course. I don't know. We would look at all that. So I can see why they didn't want me to add tarot decks to that, because those 4 decks were almost half an hour. So I hope that was helpful for you, whether it was helpful to see the different decks that my higher self wanted to show you, for great decks for taking aligned action, and for having a deck that you can really work with on shifting through your life and really moving forward, like on your aligned life path trajectory, and just making sure you're not kind of blind to certain things or getting stuck in certain areas. And then they can also really help you in figuring out what you do need to clear out. Sometimes it's not obvious what we need to work on clearing, on what we need to work on activating, and then the actual aligned steps we're meant to take. These can be super helpful in getting you those messages in a way that is easier to receive and understand. And it's just fun, right? Cards are fun. Okay, thank you. Let me know if you have questions from anything I said. I would be more than happy to answer your questions. If you've got like a ton of questions, like you want to learn how I actually pull cards every day and what I do with my pendulum for the clearings, the activations, and figuring out like my aligned action steps and how all of that works, feel free to ask me about joining the library, the membership, because those videos will start popping up in there this week. If you're watching this video in the future, that whole module is probably already up there. So that's also exciting for you. I'm just checking if I should say a price on the video in case it changes. So right now, when I'm filming this at least, it's usually a $52 a month membership for the teaching library videos and group forum. Right now it is $27 a month, and I'm keeping it there until I get the yes to raise it. So I hope that when you're seeing this, it's still $27 a month, so I don't have to be like, oh shoot, it's more money now. And we have a Sui and Holy Fire Reiki 1 in there. We have how to get going with the pendulum for figuring out like truth testing, getting like yes, no answers, so you can really work with those aligned action steps, which is what's going to help you with the cards, using the pendulum with the cards. The spirit guides, connecting with your spirit guides mini courses in there. Oh, clearing entities, crossing human souls, closing portals, energetically clearing with the pendulum is all in there too, or without, closing mirrors, all that stuff. And yeah, and then we'll just be going from there. Reiki 2 is probably coming after the cards, and then later on is probably clearing within the Akashic Records. Okay, so if you have questions, let me know, and I would love to hear how those cards resonated too. You don't have to only tell me about the sacred self-care activity. I would love to hear if any of those other cards really grabbed you today, and if you got an action step that you're meant to take from those, tell me. I love when people can consume something like this and then actually take action on it, because what you're doing when you do that, you were brought here for a reason, right? You watched this video. This is not just like random that you're watching this video right now. You were brought here for a reason, and then you received the message you were supposed to receive, and then what do you do with it? Do you stay on your path, the same path you've been on, which is fine. It's not bad to stay on the same path you're on. Or do you decide that, okay, I watched this for a reason. I meant to take in whatever message. It doesn't have to be all the cards. It could have just been one. And then what happens when you either change your thinking or you take an action step? You go off that path or really up, kind of. You can think of it that way. You are able to like go up to your next more aligned life path. So that's possible when you act on the messages. If you receive a message and then you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense, and then not really think about it and not take the actual physical action step, like 3D earth action step, it's kind of like just wasted. It just like goes away. Unless it was super fun and entertaining, like you could say, okay, that's still worth it. But if you take that action step and you do that aligned action, that's when you start actually moving forward and shifting and slowly taking each baby step to get on your most aligned like life path trajectory. Okay, on that note, I'm going to go. I hope that was helpful. Let me know in the comments. Let me know if you have questions. I will see you all soon. Bye.